masters. Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Chill, all good, man.
Yeah, done this before. It's nothing new.
Nope, not at all.
Just gonna check my hotkeys again.
Say easy game, man.
Alright, looks pretty good.
Res is good, everything's good. 1881.
Yeah.
That's a good number too on the life.
Yeah.
1881. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun. This looks good. No res drops. Alright, you guys will watch my same thing as last time.
Yep, Andrew's watching too. I like that last. I was like, oh, I forgot about the bone armor.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, you're here too, Andrew?
Yep, whatever.
Right, let's do it.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
You got this.
We got.
The gear is simple, but pretty good. He's going to go for full trangs, 3 sockets in the chest and the helm, and that's going to give him room for rubies and 1 ohm for that cold res. The Venom has a low roll. His skillers, his small charms, and his large charms are all pretty meh. The other key part to talk about is not how good the gear is, it's what he's doing with his corruptions. He has attack rating corruptions on a ring, on his gloves, and extra stats cored onto his Ravenfrost. That's so he can actually hit Dclone. Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. Top Woog, or Top Nub, the Canadian guy who supposedly knows me, was able to do the second Dclone kill on Project Diablo 2 for Season 6, and he was able to do the first Rathma kill, which arguably more impressive. I'm not sure. The Dclone kills were done day 2. Rathma was done, I think, a week after launch, or today would be a week, so 6 days or so, 5 days. And I'm going to make videos on both. The reason why I'm not going to do Rathma is my Rathma knowledge is pretty bad, so I'd rather talk about Dclone where I can actually address some of the issues in the fight. First off, what are we doing here? We're using Poison Strike. Why? Look at how long Dclone stays green when you use Poison Strike. And look at how long he doesn't stay green when he doesn't actually hit him.
Nice.
That's very important. What I'm saying is Poison Strike releases a cloud, correct? So you see that when he hits. So Dclone will always take damage. If you hear the sound of him going, the sound of him getting attacked, that means he was attacked by the actual ability. And that extra pierce really helps you do significant damage to Dclone. It's basically better than Desecrate always. You could have BIS gear for Desecrate, you know, the nastiest D-web or a +7 wand with 2 facets, because Desecrate scales pretty well with skills. And it wouldn't even come close to the ability of Poison Strike. Much more budget. Only if you get the hit. Now, what happened there? So, Dclone spawns adds now when he gets down to various percentages of health. There's 3 add phases.
Job.
The first add phase is going to be very easy for a Desecrate or Poison Strike Necromancer. They're just warriors. So as you saw, he was actually attacking at some points or just casting Desecrate. You may have been confused because there were some Poison Novas going off. That is the meme that used to be on EBOTD that was removed from the game, but it's still on Venom. Wow, that's really risky. That was the first wave though, right? So with Cold Nova, every single wave of the projectile does more damage. So right now, as you could see, he was just standing in the fire. That's because he wasn't sure if that was the last projectile wave, and if it wasn't, he would have died. The one he got hit by does significantly less damage. I think the damage scales by 25% or 50% every single time. But basically, by the last wave, I think it one-shots almost every character.
Yeah,
I think in prior seasons you could survive it. I'm not sure if that's possible anymore. If it is possible, it's probably just a meme thing later on in the season. But for a Necromancer with 1,881 health, it is never possible. So, the on-death Poison Nova cast still exists on the Venom Rune Lord. You may wonder if I'm going to try that out. Yeah, you can kind of do it for the old meme EBOTD Proxmancer build. I'm definitely going to see how well I can make it work. It's definitely not as good as EBOTD was last season. It's a much lower level Poison Nova. It's the same level Poison Nova, but it's a lower proc chance, and that really hurts. Now, in the second ad phase, so you're going to go from an ad phase into a Cold Nova into an ad phase. You even saw him cast 1 Blood Warp. That was because he had archers surrounding him, and trying to move in any direction could have caused his death. These magic arrows are actually brutal, and the hardest part of the fight for any Necromancer. In fact, I always thought there was an argument to run max block specifically for how dangerous these archers are, but Topwig basically decided it's probably better not to run it. As you saw, he just got a Poison Nova cast. It probably does actually help take out these ads a little bit. It's basically maybe if 2 Poison Novas go off, it's going to be 1 less cast on that ad, and just that damage kind of adds up probably. I doubt it's a significant modifier to the fight, but it's just a nice thing to have. Now he's just going to be running around and making sure that he kills all these archers as safely as possible. Recasting Bone Armor is necessary. In fact, I would say this fight is probably harder than ever for Necromancers. Now, the reason why is, in previous seasons, we could use Phoenix to absorb dead bodies with Redemption to recover health. We can't do that anymore. So it's kind of really necessary that I'm going to plug Necromancer real quickly. Bone Armor buffs were really important for this fight for Necromancer.
I'll have to BO on next
Bone Armor
week.
was always a good skill to have. In fact, hardcore players would max it. But now with energy scaling, Bone Armor actually allows us to survive these ad phases reasonably well. That Cold Nova was way less dangerous. I think he might have actually gotten hit by the second one the first time. I really can't remember. Now, on these ad phases, these Cold Nova phases, you'll notice on the first time he actually stood in a Bone Spirit patch at the end of the phase. That's because it is better to survive and waste 2 jubes just standing in that fire than it would be to risk moving your mouse slightly out of position and getting hit by those projectiles. Those projectiles are brutal. They have an AoE explosion, so you can't always just stand by the end of the screen, because if it blows up on the wall beside you, you will get hit by it. So we've done 2 ad phases, we've done 2 Cold Nova phases. We're going to have 1 more of each. The main attacks in this fight that you have to be worried about is the Bone Spirit proc. The Bone Spirit itself is really not that big of a deal. It doesn't do much damage, but the fire that it leaves on the ground is actually magic damage, and it's brutal. How did he not die? I'm sorry. I do not understand how you did not die there. He was standing in the middle of all of these warriors and archers attacked. I don't know what I just saw there. Anyways, this phase is... It's as dangerous as the archer phase, maybe a little more dangerous because there is more ranged enemies. But the mages aren't too big of a deal compared to the archers. They just have consistent damage, and honestly, like I said, maybe running block is good. Well, with mages, you never have to worry about proccing a block, which is kind of funny. Why would I tell you to run block if proccing block is bad? Well, that's kind of how blocking works as a Necromancer. Sure, you're not taking damage, but you're also stuck standing still. So the nice thing about mages is you won't accidentally block and possibly be out of position or get surrounded worse than before. So talking about the actual attacks that Dclone you have to worry about, there's the Bone Spirits. They are casted by the Trap Souls surrounding the arena. As you'll notice that Dclone has a immunity aura on him during ad phases. He also gains that immunity aura when you're standing outside of the Trapped Soul circle area, and that's just to prevent basically interaction between the player and Dclone. In previous days, you could kind of stand there and, avoid some attacks, or just in general stay safer. You have a object by you for trap souls, etc. To be honest, it didn't make the fight that much easier, but definitely having that as an option it's kind of nice. The Lightning Hose is incredibly dangerous. Its attack damage is half physical and half lightning, as you know, and its damage is based on per frame. Now, per frame damage is a really important thing in this game, because per frame damage is based on such a way, like the magic damage on the ground, as you saw, he almost died, is that to absorb damage from frame attacks is really crucial, right? So they nerf that. If you have flat PDR or flat MDR, it does not operate in normal as this fight. Or else a tick attack, which normally does less damage, like lightning hose or the bonefire patch on the ground, you could absorb so much it wouldn't matter. So basically, flat PDR and flat MDR are pointless. Now, this last little part of the fight is actually the easiest thing, because there's no more phases. Sure, more trapped souls are releasing bone spirits, but you should get the fight done. Also, more meteors are being cast, which are also casted by the trapped souls. The meteor's not too bad, honestly, as long as you have 90 fire res, which Topwood does. And if you cast a bone armor, it's actually the least significant part of the fight now for a Necromancer, as long as you have that bone armor up. You're basically not even going to notice it. The Cold Grasp is unimportant to talk about, even for melee. And the fire on the ground isn't that dangerous either. Well, that's the fight, guys.
Nice.
Oh, yes!
Nice job. Nice job, man. Nice
1,
job.
3 fucking.
Very nice.
Let's go.
Nice job.
Oof.
Dude, I'm so proud of you. You got 1 pot?
3.
3 left.
God, that's.
When that last swing didn't hit, I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
I know.
When you
Hey.
switched to desecrate
Yeah.
towards the end there, I was like, oh fuck, this can't be good.
I was like,
My guy, congrats.
Yeah, I was just missing, so I was like, I can't just keep missing. At least desecrate will
Play with
hit.
us.
This is done.
Come and play with us, Danny.